Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of a Major League Baseball game. Today's game is featuring the Milwaukee Brewers versus the Detroit Tigers. The commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with Major League Baseball, the MLB, or their sponsors. We're providing live reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking audiences around the globe enjoy the game on YouTube and on Twitch along with us. We'll be back in just a moment with today's starting lineups. We're glad you guys could tune in for all the action today. We'll be getting going in about 5 minutes or so, but we'll be right back after this with the starting lineups for today's ball game. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the visitors from Milwaukee, whose lineups we'll provide to you first. Leading off and playing second base, wearing number 16, is Colton Wong. Batting second and playing third base, wearing number 5, is Eduardo Escobar. Batting third and left field, wearing number 22, is Christian Yelich. In the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 10, Omar Narvaez. Batting fifth at shortstop today, wearing number 2, is Luis Arias. Batting sixth and playing in right field, wearing number 14, is Jace Peterson. Batting seventh and playing first base, wearing number 20, is Daniel Vogelbach. Batting eighth in center field, wearing number 6, is Lorenzo Cain. And batting ninth and doing the catching is Manny Pina. And they're going to take on the young right-hander for the Tigers in his rookie season, number 25, Matt Manning. Manning is 3-6 on the campaign with a 6.14 earned run average. One would think today that the Tigers are going to be pumping the brakes on Manning, as they've been doing with some of their young starters, and limiting his innings, as he's probably slated to go about 3 or 4 innings today with the start under his belt. So that is going to be the Brewers lineup, and now we're going to give you the lineup for the home team, for the Detroit Tigers. Leading off and playing in left field, wearing number 60, is Akil Baddoo. Batting second and playing first base, wearing number 7, is Jonathan Scope. Batting third in right field, wearing number 8, is Robbie Grossman. In the cleanup spot, batting fourth, wearing number 21, is Miguel Cabrera. Batting fifth, playing third base, wearing number 46, is Jamar Candelario. Batting sixth and playing shortstop is number 30, Harold Castro. Batting seventh and playing second base, wearing number 21, is Willie Castro. Batting eighth and in center field, batting eighth and doing the catching, number 64, Dustin Garneau. Batting ninth and in center field, wearing number 54, is Derek Hill. And the Tigers have come in today's game after last night's game in extra innings, 11 innings to take care of the Brewers, 1-0 on a walk-off double by Derek Hill to end the game in the 11th inning. The Tigers, it was a battle of the Peraltas last night. Both Freddie Peralta and Willie Peralta were going head-to-head, and both went 6 shutout innings. And, of course, then it turned it over to the bullpens, and the Tigers finally prevailed in their half of the 11th inning. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call. We're glad you're with us today. We're a couple of minutes away from the first pitch. Stay with us, everybody.
Are you into digital cards? Last Raps Baseball has you covered as we do daily Top Spun Digital 21 card breaks. This new wave of collecting allows baseball fans to collect digital cards and compete against each other for prizes. Check out our daily breaks and send us a trade to Last Raps. Be sure to tell your friends. Would you like to support Last Raps Baseball? We would appreciate it if you did. Be sure to check out our eBay page where we have baseball merchandise. We also have stuff from the Japanese League for those who listen from Japan, but we also do other sports like football and basketball as well. Don't forget, visit Last Raps Baseball's eBay store to help support the channel. We'll be glad you did.
Welcome back, everybody. And Matt Manning is completing his tune-up tosses, and we're about ready to get this one underway in just a couple moments. The umpires for today's game, working home plate, is going to be Adam Beck. The first base umpire is Brian Knight. Bill Miller is holding the bag at second base, and Doug Eddings is working third. It's a beautiful 71 degrees, and it is cloudy in Detroit today. The wind is blowing out to center field at about 3 miles an hour, so it is a fairly still day. And now we are about ready to get this one underway. The first pitch was slated for 1:10 p.m., and Manning gets up on top of the hill. It looks like it's going to be 1:11 local time, Eastern time. That pitch is going to take place. So here we go. We're ready to get this one underway. The leadoff hitter is Colton Wong. And the first pitch to Wong is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. For Wong on the season, he's hitting .278. He's got 13 homers and 44 runs batted in. He hits from the left side. He is in his first full season with the Milwaukee Brewers after having a lengthy career with the St. Louis Cardinals. And there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the right field line. Moving back on it is the second baseman, Willie Castro, and he's going to make the catch. And he is going to put that one away for out number 1 here. So that's going to go down as a pop out to second base. 1 up and 1 away, and that is going to bring up Eduardo Escobar. You'll notice today for the Detroit Tigers, they have a couple of players wearing number 21 on the right side of the infield. Miguel Cabrera is wearing 21, as that's his usual number. But many of the players who were born in Puerto Rico are also sporting the same number 21 today with no name on the back of the jersey. So the first pitch delivered to Eduardo Escobar is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. The 0-1 to Escobar is a breaking ball swung on, and that's tapped foul over on the first base side, and the count quickly goes to 0-2. For Escobar on the season, he's hitting .255 with 27 homers and 81 runs batted in. And that is the combined stats between the Diamondbacks and the Brewers, and a fastball that misses outside by Manning makes the count 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Escobar. Manning gets the sign from his catcher, Garneau, and Escobar feels that he's taken too long and has asked for time. He steps out, and we'll do this all over again. Here comes the pitch from Manning. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. And the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Manning ready to go back to work. He gets this side from his catcher. He rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Escobar is retired on strikes for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away. And that's going to bring up the left fielder, Christian Yelich. For Yelich on the season, he is hitting .252. He's got 8 homers and 45 runs batted in. Manning ready to go back to work. He gets the sign from his catcher, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Yelich. Yelich this season is only batting .189 in interleague play. There is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There's only one other game underway in the big leagues right now. It is the Miami Marlins and the Washington Nationals are going at it. They're in the top of the first inning. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-2 to Yelich. Yelich will be followed by the designated hitter, Omar Narvaez, should Yelich find a way on base. And there's a fastball swung on and fouled away on the third base side. And the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a beautiful afternoon for baseball in the Motor City. A little bit cloudy. The sun is trying to see its way through the clouds. Manning ready to deliver. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count runs even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is the final game of a 2-game set in Detroit, as the interleague play has been, for many teams, 2-game sets during the midweek, as is this one. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 3-2 to Yelich. Yelich batting from the left side, facing the right-hander Manning. Manning rocks into the motion and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, its tap foul on the first base side, and the count remains at 3-2. Yelich himself back, dug in at the plate. He's ready to go back to work. Manning kicks and delivers, and there is a fastball swung on. It's hit back to the pitcher. It's off of Manning. It makes its way over to the shortstop, Harold Castro, who's to the right side of second base. But that is going to go down as a 1-6-3 putout, as the play has been made. And Christian Yelich is retired at first base for the third out of the inning. So for the Brewers in their half of the first inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through a half inning. It is the Milwaukee Brewers, nothing. The Detroit Tigers coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call at the bottom of the first inning. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher, friend of the channel. So be sure after the game to go and check him out. And we support him as much as he supports us. Here's Steve.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day, and there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddy.
As always, thanks again, Steve, for your support. We'll be back after these tunes with the call at the bottom of the first inning. Welcome back, everybody. Brandon Woodruff has completed his tune-up tosses, and we're ready to get the bottom of the first underway. It'll be Akil Baddoo, Jonathan Scope, and Robbie Grossman to get things going for the Tigers. Baddoo on the day is batting .258 with 12 homers and 49 runs batted in. Tigers have a couple of switch hitters in the lineup today. And Woodruff ready to go to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. Beginning of the season, the Detroit Tigers had the most switch hitters in their lineup. Baddoo here hits from the left side. But they list Robbie Grossman, Victor Reyes, Nico Goodrum, Willie Castro, and Jamar Candelario. Those who hit from both sides of the plate. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-1. Brandon Woodruff, the horse of the Milwaukee staff. Even though he's 9-8 on the season, he has some great stuff. He's definitely got October stuff. Brewers will be a tough team to play against in October. There's a changeup that misses outside. The count is now 2-1 to Baddoo. Get into the playoffs with Corbin Burns, Freddie Peralta, and Brandon Woodruff. Those three starters are going to be formidable opposition for anyone they face. And there's a fastball that misses low, and the count is 3-1 to Baddoo. The best chance for Detroit to get after Woodruff will be here in the first inning. Typically speaking, the Tigers, or most teams, will have to attack Woodruff early before he gets into a groove and settles down. So here comes the 3-1 pitch to Baddoo. Woodruff gets the sign from his catcher, Pina. He goes to work, and there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 3-2. Akil Baddoo was about ready to undo his shin guard and make his way to first base. It was a late call by the home plate umpire. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Woodruff gets the sign from Pina, and he gets ready to go back to work. He rocks into the motion and kicks and delivers, and there's a fastball swung on and missed at 95 miles an hour, and that is going to retire Baddoo on strikes for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Jonathan Schoop. For Schoop this season, he's batting .280. He's got 20 homers and 77 runs batted in. He's arguably the most consistent hitter the Tigers have had in their order the entire season. Schoop, a former Milwaukee Brewer, began his career with the Baltimore Orioles. This is his 4th major league team. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded right to the second baseman, who's near second base. He fires to first. That is going to retire Schoop. So that goes as a ground out 4-3. Colton Wong was positioned about 2 or 3 steps just to the right of the base. The ball was struck right to him. He couldn't have been in better position to make that play. And 2 up and 2 away here for the Tigers in their half of the first inning. And that's going to bring up Robbie Grossman. For Grossman on the season, he's batting .241. He's got 23 homers and 65 runs batted in. He has 3 stolen bases shy of being a 2020 player for the first time in his career. He's looking for his first hit against the Brewers this season. He's 0 for 12 in interleague play against them. Here comes the pitch from Woodruff. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Robbie Grossman on the season for Detroit has been fairly productive in terms of being able to get on base. He really walks a lot. He's got 87 walks on the season. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-1. The 87 walks by Grossman is the most he's had in his entire big league career. One of the reasons they like him at the top of the order, he's got a .357 on-base percentage. He's always able to grind and find his way on base. Here's the pitch from Woodruff. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. The Tigers signed Grossman before the start of the season. They gave him 2 years and $10 million, and this is a very good value sign. Think of some of the other players around the league, and the one player that comes to mind plays in the outfield for the Toronto Blue Jays is Randall Grichuk. The money that they've given Grichuk is, there's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Grossman here for the third out of the inning. We'll come back with those thoughts in a moment about Randall Grichuk and Robbie Grossman. But for the Tigers in their half of the first inning, no run Detroit. It's the Milwaukee Brewers nothing, the Detroit Tigers nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back. Put the call at the top of the second inning after these from our friends. Here's our friend Matt Hollis. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. Another Hollis build.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We're cruising to the top of the second inning. It is going to be the heart of the Brewers batting order to come up to face Matt Manning. That means it's Omar Narvaez, Luis Urias, and Jace Peterson to face the young right-hander of the Tigers. Just to finish our thoughts in the last half inning, we were talking about Robbie Grossman being a value signing for the Tigers. And we have Lemario Owens stopping in again today. Hello, Lemario. Thanks for stopping in to listen in. We appreciate you being here. Randall Grichuk was a signing for the Toronto Blue Jays, and the money that they threw to him was quite a bit of money, and the value that they're getting is not a whole lot different than what Robbie Grossman is providing Detroit. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. And so certainly the money given to Grichuk versus that of Grossman is a value signing for the Tigers. So no balls and one strike to Narvaez, and here's the pitch from Manning. It's a 94-mile-an-hour heater that misses low and in, and the count is 1-1. For Narvaez on the season, he's hitting .286 with 11 homers and 47 runs batted in. Manning gets the sign from his catcher Garneau. He goes back to work. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Narvaez. Narvaez, Urias, and Peterson here in the second inning, slated to come and face the young right-hander for the Tigers. Manning gets the sign from his catcher, and he goes back to work. There's a fastball swung on. It is looped softly over to the shortstop, Harold Castro, who's playing to the right side of second base. And that is going to retire Narvaez for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Luis Urias. For Urias on the season, he's batting .249. He's got 20 homers and 65 runs batted in. Getting these nod at shortstop today. He's also played third base and second base for the Milwaukee Brewers this season. He's in his second year with the Brew Crew. His first couple of seasons, he was with the San Diego Padres. Here's the first pitch. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Urias was with the first couple of years with the San Diego Padres. There was a fastball swung on his chops over the head of Manning. It's fielded by Willie Castro. He fires to first, and that's going to retire Urias on a ground out, 4-3 for the second out of the inning. Just to finish off with Urias, he was acquired in the off-season trade between 2019 and 2020 for Trent Grisham. And he was obviously made expendable as a shortstop because the Padres have somebody named Fernando Tatis Jr., who was one of the best in the biz. Urias had himself, the first time in his career, he's hit 20 homers. He's never hit more than 4 in a season, and that was a couple of years ago. So he's unlocked some power somehow over this past year. There's a fastball delivered to Jace Peterson, taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Peterson up to bat now. He's got a .265 average with 5 homers and 30 runs batted in. And here comes the pitch from Manning. It's a fastball swung on. It's looped into center field. It's going to get down in front of Derek Hill for a base hit, and Peterson is aboard with a 2-out single here in the top half of the second inning. So Peterson is the runner on first. There's 2 away, and that's going to bring up the rather portly first baseman, Daniel Vogelbach. Vogelbach steps up to the plate at 6 foot, 270 pounds. The former second-round pick of the Chicago Cubs was an all-star in 2019 with the Seattle Mariners, but had bounced around a little bit last season before finding roots in Milwaukee. He's getting the start at first base today. And here's the first pitch from Matt Manning. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Vogelbach is one of those few players that when you look at him, you know he's in scoring position when he steps in the batter's box. But he does strike out at a rather heavy clip. He's been able to mitigate a little bit of that this year. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-0 to Vogelbach. This year, he's only striking out at a pace of 1 in every 4 at-bats. His all-star season with the Mariners, He had 149 strikeouts and only 462 at bats. And there's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Vogelbach. Vogelbach was dealt from the Brewers to the Blue Jays last season. And then the Blue Jays released him and he was picked up by sent from the Mariners to the Blue Jays last season. And then he was released and the Brewers were able to pick him up. And there is a pitch that's low to Vogelbach. On the run is Peterson. Peterson has just swiped second base. He was off to the races. He stole that one right off the pitcher, Matt Manning. It was very, very easy. Manning's got a very slow delivery to the plate with runners on base. So Peterson gets himself into scoring position with 2 away. And the count is 3 balls and 1 strike to Daniel Vogelbach. Manning gets the sign from his catcher, Garneau, and he's ready to go back to work. Checks the runner Peterson at second, and he delivers. There's a fastball that misses outside, and Vogelbach has got himself a walk. That's going to bring up the very dangerous Lorenzo Cain to the plate. Lorenzo Cain batting in the 8th spot today. He's batting .252 on the season with 8 homers and 33 RBIs. He's in the twilight of his career. The veteran hitter for the Brewers began his career in the Brewers organization. He was a 17th round pick in the 2004 MLB draft. He was originally sent packing to Kansas City in a trade that brought the principal, Zach Greinke, back to the Brewers. And, of course, Yuniesky Betancourt. There was a first pitch fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. But he signed as a free agent back with the Brewers in 2018, and looks like he's going to finish his career in Milwaukee uniform. And there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-2. But clearly the best years of his career were in the time that he spent in the Kansas City organization. A very steady outfielder. He was an all-star in 2015. It was possibly or arguably the best year of his career. He batted over 300 that year and had 16 homers and 72 RBIs. There's a fastball swung on, and that's lifted foul over on the first base side. And the count remains at 0-2. He's lost a little bit of a step. He is getting the start in center field, but he's also sometimes getting an opportunity to play in the corner outfield positions. So here comes the 0-2 to Lorenzo Cain. Manning delivers. It's a breaking ball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-2. And that would probably be a veteran call right there. That pitch from Manning looked pretty good. It just missed off the outside corner of the plate, and we're going to go back at it again. Here's the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch to Cain. Manning checks the runner at second. He comes set at the belt. He takes another look at Peterson. Now he delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded foul or fair down the right field line. The umpires showed fair. 1 run is in, and Cain is going to cruise into second base with a double. And Vogelbach gets all the way over to third. So all of this has started with 2 outs here in the inning. The RBI for Lorenzo Cain, knocking in Peterson from second, and that's going to move Vogelbach all the way around to third. And the Brewers have opened the scoring here in the top of the second inning. Score is now 1-0 for the Milwaukee Brewers. It's also going to bring a visit to the mound by the pitching coach for the Tigers. And Chris Fetters is going to make his way out there to talk to his young right-hander. He's lost some command on his pitches. Certainly the 1-2 pitch to Cain was too good a pitch. He's got to be able to hit his spots. Left it over the plate, and Cain did the damage by hitting it down the right field line. So Manny Pina, the 9-hole hitter, is coming to the plate with runners in scoring position, runners at second and third. With 2 away here in the Brewers' second inning. So Pina's batting from the right side. He steps in and gets himself dug in. On the season, Pina's batting 195. He's got 10 homers and 30 runs batted in. And Manning kicks and delivers, and there is a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Manning working from the stretch with the runners on second and third. He holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We got ING Port in the house today. Welcome. Thanks for listening in. He says the guy he's going against today has Matt Manning in the fantasy pool that he's in, and there's a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is 2-1. Well, young right-hander for the Tigers is starting to fall apart here in the second inning after getting the first 2 out and retiring the first 5 batters he faced in the ball game. He's now struggling here against the Milwaukee Brewers. They've got 3 defenders on the left side of the infield to face Pina. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball, and that misses inside, and the count now goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Waiting on deck is the leadoff hitter, Colton Wong. So 3-1 to Pina. Manning gets the sign from his catcher, Garneau, and he gets ready to go back to work. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and that is ball 4. And the Brewers have loaded the bases all with 2 outs here in the second inning, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Colton Wong. As we said at the top of the stream, I don't expect Matt Manning to be around very long today. The Tigers have a short leash on him and the other rookie, Casey Mize, in their rotation. I expect probably 3 to 4 innings, but Manning's got to be able to get through the second inning to get to the third, and this is starting to look like a problem here. So here comes the leadoff hitter, Wong. Wong squares to bunt with the bases loaded and 2 out, and he fouls it away. And that ball catches Garneau on the hands. Bases loaded and 2 out. He's squaring to bunt. That was interesting. And the count is 0-1. I don't know what Colton Wong was thinking or what the Brewers had in their mind. But he was looking to push the ball down the third baseline, and without success, he fouls it off, and it goes right off the throwing hand of Dustin Garneau, right off the fingertips. So here comes the 0-1 pitch to Wong. And Manning delivers. It is a changeup off the outside corner, and the count is now 1-1. Colton Wong today is 0 for 1. He popped out to the second baseman to start the ball game. Manning gets the sign from his catcher, Garneau, and he gets ready to go back to work. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And then the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wong. Wong is having one of the finest years of his career. He's hitting .278. He's got 13 homers to go with 44 runs batted in. He's known for his stellar defense as he's won Gold Gloves with the Cardinals. And there's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul over the third base dugout, and the count remains at 1-2. Manning gets himself a new baseball. He rubs it up, and he's ready to go back to work. This has been a very challenging inning for Manning. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's tapped foul over on the first base side, and the count remains at 1-2. This is going to be the 29th pitch of the inning for Manning. He pretty much cruised through the first inning, facing the eliminating the 3 batters that he faced in quick succession. But everything after the first 2 outs has gone sideways, as everybody in the bottom part of the batting order has reached base for the Brewers. And there's a fastball, and Wong checks his swing, and it's lifted foul over the third base dugout. And we're going to do this all over again. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. The runner at third is Vogelbach. The runner at second is Kane. Manny Pina is the runner at first. There's 2 outs here in the top of the second, and Manning holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. It's fielded by Willie Castro. He flips it over to first. And that is going to retire Colton Wong for the 3rd out here in the second inning. But the damage had been done for the Brewers in their half of the second inning. They had 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors, and they stranded 3 aboard. Through 1.5 in Detroit, it is the Detroit Tigers trailing the Milwaukee Brewers 1-0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call. At the bottom of the second inning, we're glad you could be here with us. Here's our friend Steve again, Steve Rademacher.
Hello, and we'll be right back to Last Reps Baseball after this brief message from me, Steve Rademacher. Thank you all for watching my channel and supporting me. Thank you all for supporting Freddie and Last Reps Baseball. He does an awesome job commentating. And to show you some more stuff that you could see on my channel, we have shiny Pokemon cards. We have Hall of Fame quarterbacks like Brett Favre. We have Bo Jackson playing baseball. That's right. That's his rookie card. Very nice. We even have gold. We have gold. We have wrestlers. That's Rowdy Piper. And yes, we even have Jason Stokes and many ways to destroy him. So now, thank you again. Back to your regular program with your host, Last Reps Baseball.
Thanks again, Steve. We'll be right back in just a moment with the call of the bottom of the second inning. Hang tight, everybody. We're glad you're with us. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the heart of the Tiger batting order coming up to face the Brewers in their half of the second inning. It's going to be Miguel Cabrera, Jmar Candelario, and Harold Castro. It is a sparse crowd in the Motor City today to watch this league affair between the Detroit Tigers and the Milwaukee Brewers. It's a beautiful day for baseball as the temperature's in the low 70s. It is mostly cloudy. If you've ever been to Comerica Park, there's not a lot of place for shade unless you're in the upper deck or in certain locations of the stadium down the third base line. You can get some shade. There's a fastball delivered to Cabrera, taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Woodruff only had 11 pitches in his first inning of work. As we said, once he can get through the first part of the first inning of the ball game, he's usually pretty steady. And there is a comebacker hit off the pitcher. It's bounded over to the shortstop. It's picked up by Arias. He throws to first. It takes Vogelbach off the base. But Cabrera, who's not running fast down the line, is tagged out by Vogelbach. It's going to go down as a ground out, 1-6-3. So each team has had their pitcher hit by comebackers in this game. That is the first out of the inning. Yesterday, we were watching the Twins and the Cleveland Indians, and the pitcher Joe Ryan for the Minnesota Twins took a comebacker right off his forearm, his pitching forearm. The x-rays on that one came back negative, but he's got a bone contusion, and you could see that there was just this huge swelling just above the wrist. He's very fortunate that that arm wasn't broken. And there's the first pitch to Jmar Candelario. It's swung on. It is lifted to deep left field. Moving back on the warning track is Christian Yelich. And he's going to make the grab just in front of the fence. Candelario sent that one a long way, but it is just a long out for out number 2 here in the second inning. And that is going to bring up the shortstop, Harold Castro. So 3 pitches and 2 quick outs for the Tigers. And Harold Castro is now going to have to come up and bite the bullet here and work the count a little bit. So Woodruff ready to go to work. Castro digs in at the plate. Batting from the left side. Castro on the season is hitting .282. He's got 3 homers and 31 runs batted in. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Castro. Castro having another productive year for Detroit at the plate with the .282 batting average. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-2. He is, in all of his opportunities with the Tigers, has shown that he can outright hit. The 27-year-old Venezuelan is played parts of 4 seasons with the Tigers. And he has been very, very consistent at the plate. Here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded to second. It's fielded by Wong. He flips it to first, and Castro is going to be retired. It's going to go down as a ground out. 4-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. But a very quick inning on only 6 pitches. The Tigers are retired 1-2-3. So we're moving to the top of the 3rd inning. It is the Milwaukee Brewers 1, the Detroit Tigers nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. We're glad you could tune in with us. Here is our friend Matt again.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city, San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 3rd inning. The Milwaukee Brewers are sending up the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the batting order. That's Eduardo Escobar, Christian Yelich, and Omar Narvaez. And the first pitch delivered from Matt Manning is a breaking ball that bounces up to the plate, and the count is 1-0. Escobar struck out his first time at bat. He's 0 for 1 this afternoon, and here's the pitch from Manning. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Escobar was acquired in just before the trade deadline. And he was brought over from the Arizona Diamondback organization. Here comes the pitch from Manning. It's a fastball that just misses low, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. July the 28th, he was acquired by the Brewers, and there is a fastball swung on. It's grounded to the shortstop, Harold Castro, who's just to the right of second base. He fields it and fires to first. That's going to retire Escobar on a ground out 4-3. The two players going the other way were both minor leaguers, Alberto Ciprian and Cooper Hummel, made their way to the Diamondbacks. Escobar is be an important part for the Milwaukee lineup moving into the playoffs. From Matt Manning, this is a fastball swung on. It's lifted into left field, so one pitch to Christian Yelich, and he flies out to left field for the second out of the inning. So 2 quick outs here for the young Tiger right-hander in this half of the third inning. That's going to bring up Omar Narvaez. Could barely get settled and to the call of Yelich, and the next thing you know, he's out. So 2 quick outs here in the top of the third inning. It's good for Manning, I guess, if you're a Tiger fan, as he threw 30 pitches in the second inning. And everything, most of that all came with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch to Narvaez. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. For Omar Narvaez, the 5'11", 220-pound catcher, takes a fastball inside. He's in his second season with Milwaukee. And he began his career as a Chicago White Sox at the big league level. He had a very good season with the Seattle Mariners in 2019. This is now his second season in Milwaukee. He was an all-star for the first time this year. Here's the pitch from Manning. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Narvaez batting from the left side against the right-hander Manning. And here's the pitch he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball. They appeal down to third. The third base umpire says that he went. The ball has scooted away from Garneau. He fields it. He throws to first. And it is not going to be in time to get Narvaez. Narvaez is not exactly the fleetest of foot. So he checks his swing. The ball was in the dirt. It gets all the way over to the on-deck circle on the first base side. They fire down to first base, and good hustle by Narvaez. Let me say, he's not the fleetest of foot. He doesn't run the quickest, but he did get down the line. And you have to give him credit for that. He was really, really motoring for the big fella. So he is aboard. That's going to go down as a strikeout. And we'll get the scoring on that, but I believe that's going to be an error charge to the catcher. Or is it going to be a wild pitch? And there's a fastball that misses outside, and the first pitch to Luis Urias is a ball 1. Urias today is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the second baseman his first time up. His average is dipped to 248 on the season. He's got those 20 homers and 65 runs batted in. And so here comes the pitch from Manning. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's lifted foul on the first base side. The count is 1-1. So the official scoring on that is just going to be a wild pitch. No error charged to the catcher. And that is how Narvaez finds himself at first base. So again, for the second inning in a row, the action all starts after the quick first 2 outs. So here comes the 1-1 pitch to Urias. And he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is hit to center field. Moving over to his right is Derek Hill. He's going to make the grab, and that is going to retire Urias for the third out of the inning. So for the Brewers in their half of the third, they had no runs. There was no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're through 2.5 in Detroit. It is the Milwaukee Brewers 1, the Detroit Tigers nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call of the bottom of the third inning. We're glad you could be here. Here's our friend Steve again. This is Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check out his channel after the game.
Hey guys, and thank you, Freddie. Steve coming back at you. That's right, Steve Rademacher. I would like to thank each and every one of you that is tuned into my channel. And today, let's do a little shout out for some other great channels you should be watching. There is WVlogs 18. There's Big D's Sports and Collectibles. You all know another Hollis build. Why not? Like father, like son. That's a great duo that does some great stuff. It shows some great cards. And of course, the one and only Bud Stoney, creator of One of Ones, and they're all signed on the back. Bud Stoney, One of One, like this beautiful Robin Yount that he made for me. He made me another Robin Yount, this time mini, and a Christian Yelich mini. Great cards, and he does more than cards. We have darts of Hulk Hogan and many other things. So give them a look-see and give me another look-see. Subscribers are always welcome, and back to Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve. Remember, whether it's Money Monday, Takeover Tuesday, the No Filter Friday, or the Saturday morning cartoon, Steve Rademacher has something for everybody of all ages. Be sure to check them out when you got an opportunity. We'll be right back in just a moment after these tunes with the call at the bottom of the third inning. Welcome back, everybody. And Willie Castro is stepped up to the plate to face Brandon Woodruff, and the first pitch to him was a fastball up high. And Woodruff goes back to work, and he delivers a fastball that swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Willie Castro. Castro on the season is hitting .211. He's got 9 homers and 37 runs batted in. He digs in at the plate, and he's ready to go to work. He had a very good spring training for the Tigers, but he's not been able to take that into regular season action. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tigers are looking for their first hit of the ball game off of Woodruff, and their first base runner, as he's been pretty efficient through his first 2 innings of work. Tigers have not got to him early, and that could spell trouble, as Woodruff is definitely a player who can really, really settle in and get into a groove. And there is a fastball fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2 to Castro. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Milwaukee Brewers are pretty much just playing out the string here. They're in first place in the National League Central. They've got a comfortable 13.5 game lead on the St. Louis Cardinals. There's a fastball that misses upstairs to Castro, and it's 2-2. And there's probably almost no chance in the Cardinals catching them. I mean, mathematically, they still could. The Cardinals catching the Brewers is not probably going to happen. The interesting races are the wild card races in both the National and American League, and there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Castro is retired on strikes for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the catcher, Dustin Garneau. In the National League, the race is on. Currently in the wild card spot, the Dodgers have locked up a playoff position. Both they and San Francisco, who are 1-2 in the National League West, first go in first place in the Dodgers, and second have wild card spots locked up, or have playoff spots locked up. So there's 1 playoff spot left, and that is in the second spot in the National League wild card. So Woodruff ready to go back to work to Garneau. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. And it is a dogfight for that position. The Cardinals are in it today. They have a half-game lead on the Cincinnati Reds with a game in hand. The San Diego Padres are a game back. The Philadelphia Phillies at 72 and 72 are 3 games back. There's a breaking ball that misses to Garneau, and the count is 1-1. And even though they're 2 games below 500, the New York Mets are still only 4 games back of that second wild card spot, so they aren't dead yet. So 5 teams looking to battle it out for that last spot. There's a fastball delivered to Garneau, and it swung on and missed, and the count is 1-2. 96 at the knees. It's a difficult pitch to catch up to. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Garneau. In the American League, it's been pretty much decided. The Tampa Bay Rays are running away with the East, as are the White Sox with the Central. And the Houston Astros have started to put some distance between themselves and Seattle. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 2-2 to Garneau. So we would think that the division leaders are locked up. Currently, the Yankees and the Blue Jays are tied in the wild card spot, as well as with the Red Sox, although not everybody has played the same amount of games. The Red Sox have played 2 more than the Blue Jays and the Yankees. There's a fastball at 98, swung on and lifted foul on the first base side. And the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Garneau will be followed by the center fielder, Derek Hill. We do thank everybody for stopping in today, whether you're listening on YouTube or on Twitch. We're happy to have you in the stream. And here comes the pitch from Woodruff. It is a fastball swung on, and the ball is looped to the third baseman, Santiago, and the bat absolutely explodes, makes its way over to the third baseman, Eduardo Escobar. In fact, the bat went further than the baseball. Left in Garneau's hand was a long sliver. So the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Garneau. Woodruff ready to go back to work. Right-hander against the right-hander. Pina gives the sign to his pitcher, and Woodruff goes back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. And the count now runs 3-2 to Garneau. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Woodruff gets the sign from his catcher, Pina, ready to go back to work. And here comes the payoff pitch. Woodruff rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted to left field. Moving in into his right is Christian Yelich. He's going to make the catch. That is going to retire Garneau for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, Derek Hill. Derek Hill on the season is batting .260. He's got 3 homers and 13 runs batted in. The 25-year-old made his major league debut last year with Tigers. He's seeing regular action now. He'll probably get an opportunity to compete for and given every opportunity to win that center field position next year. The right-handed stick waits on the delivery from Woodruff. It's a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Hill was originally a first-round draft choice of the Detroit Tigers all the way back in the 2014 draft. He's a very, very good defensive center fielder. Here's the pitch from Woodruff. It's a breaking ball, and that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. But he really had an injury-plagued minor league career. It's taken him a while to get to the big leagues. But he should be able to pay off. The Tigers have themselves a nice defensive outfielder in that spacious Comerica Park for a number of years. Hopefully to follow for the Tigers. And there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. Hill was the hero of last night's game as he knocked in Victor Reyes to walk off that game in the bottom of the 11th inning. So Hill gets himself set in the box. We're ready to go back to the action. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Woodruff. Woodruff rocks into the motion and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner. Both Woodruff and Pina, it was coordinated. They were both exiting to the first base dugout. He did not get the call from the home plate umpire. That pitch looked like it was off the plate, and Pina had brought it back in, but home plate umpire was definitely not buying what they were trying to sell on that one. Adam Beck held his ground. So here comes the 2-2 to Derek Hill. It's a fastball, and that's taken for a called third strike. And that is going to retire Hill this time, and that is going to do it for the Tigers in their half of the third inning. So for the Tigers, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. That's 9 straight for Brandon Woodruff. We're through 3 complete. It is the Milwaukee Brewers 1, the Detroit Tigers nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the top of the 4th inning when we return. Glad you could be here today. Here is our friend Matt again.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Once again, that's Matt Hollis. After the game, be sure to check out another Hollis build. He is a friend of our channel, and in turn, we support his. Matt Hollis, the San Diego native, is biting his nails each night watching those Padres play. We can't blame him. It would give you ulcers if you were a Padre fan. Anyways, everybody, welcome back, and we will be back after these tunes to give you the call at the top of the 4th inning. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the Milwaukee batting order to face the right-hander Matt Manning, who's on for his 4th inning of work. And the first pitch delivered to Jace Peterson is down in the dirt for a ball, and the count is quickly 1-0. For Peterson today, he got things going for the Brewers in their half of the 2nd inning. He singled with 2 outs. He squares to bunt, and he takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. And he was later brought home on a RBI double by Lorenzo Cain. That is how the Brewers have scored their run today in the ball game. And here comes the 1-1 pitch to Manning. It's a line drive right back at the pitcher. It's off his glove, fielded by Candelario. He fires to first. And that is going to retire Peterson. That's going to go down as a ground out. 1-5-3. That's the 2nd time today Manning has been nailed with a comebacker. His counterpart, Brandon Woodruff, has also been struck by a comebacker today. And we watched the game yesterday between the Twins and the Indians, and Joe Ryan had to leave the game after getting hit in the forearm by a comebacker. A 92-mile-an-hour comebacker from Miles Straw knocked him out of the ball game yesterday. But Matt Manning takes a deep breath and had a sigh of relief. And now he's going to face the first baseman, Daniel Vogelbach. And the first pitch to Vogelbach is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Vogelbach today walked in the 2nd inning. That's been his only plate appearance. He was stranded at 3rd. The big fella waits at the plate, and there's a breaking ball that bounces up to the dish, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Vogelbach. It's 1-0 here in the 4th inning for the Brewers. This game has skipped along at a pretty good pace. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is now 2-1 to Vogelbach. So 2 balls and 1 strike. The batter is Lorenzo Cain, who will wait on deck. So Vogelbach is the hitter. And there is a fastball swung on. It's a check swing that just goes foul down the 3rd base line. They're really playing Vogelbach in the shift. And he just stuck his bat out. If that would have stayed fair, he might have been able to turn that into a double. Count is even at 2-2. Matt Manning has been, this season, he's been struck a number of times. In fact, in Pittsburgh, he got nailed with a comebacker. And there's a breaking ball to Vogelbach, who swings and misses, and that is going to retire him for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away. That's going to bring up Lorenzo Cain. But back to Manning, as he was struck by that ball off the bat of Jace Peterson to begin this inning. He was also struck by the Christian Yelich ground out in the first inning. So twice today he's been hit with comebackers. So Lorenzo Cain, who has been the producer for the Brewers, steps up. He swings at the first pitch. He chops it over the pitcher's head. It's fielded by the second baseman, Willie Castro. Castro fires to first, and that is going to retire Cain on a ground out. 4-3 for the third out of the innings. So the Brewers go quickly in their half of the fourth. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is the Detroit Tigers trailing the Milwaukee Brewers 1-0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments after these tunes with the call of the bottom of the fourth inning. We're glad you could tune in today. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the fourth inning, and it's going to be the top of the Tiger batting order to face Brandon Woodruff. It'll be Akil Baddoo, Jonathan Scope, and Robbie Grossman. And the Tigers are looking for their first base runner today against the hard-throwing right-hander. Woodruff has been effective through his first 3 innings of work. And we really appreciate you all checking in today. We are streaming this game on both YouTube and Twitch. So whichever platform you're listening on, we welcome you aboard. And we're ready to get this one back underway here. So Baddoo steps up to the plate. He is 0 for 1 today. He struck out his first time up. He is 0 for 1. His average has slipped to 257 on the season. He's got 12 homers and 49 runs batted in. And here is the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Akil Baddoo. Baddoo batting from the left side against the right-hander Woodruff, who kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on, and Baddoo fouls it off his right leg. And the count now is 1-1. He's got that shin guard on the right leg in order to help protect him. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Baddoo, and there is a changeup swung on and missed. And the count is 1-2. When Woodruff throws his changeup, we're watching the Chicago Cubs recently, and Kyle Hendricks and Zach Davies, their fastballs sit around 87, 88. That's a changeup from Brandon Woodruff. He's been bringing it up to 98 miles an hour today. So here comes the 1-2 pitch to Baddoo. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looks like the Tigers are going to stay with Matt Manning today. He looks like he's going to be coming back in for at least to start the 5th inning. And here comes the pitch from Woodruff. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to the Tiger leadoff hitter. Jonathan Scope is waiting his turn on deck. Woodruff gets the sign from his catcher, Pina, and he gets ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Baddoo has been retired for the first out here in the fourth inning. That's 10 retired in a row by the hard-throwing right-hander, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Jonathan Scope. It's the 5th strikeout of the ball game for Woodruff. He's had to work a little bit harder here in the last couple innings. He cruised through the first 2 on 17 pitches. He hardly broke a sweat. But since then, it's been a bit more of a battle against the Tiger hitters. So here we are back to the live action, and the pitch from Woodruff is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Today, Jonathan Scope is 0 for 1. He grounded to second his first time up. He's hitting .280 on the season with 20 homers and 77 runs batted in. He's had a very productive year for the Tigers. And there's a fastball swung on. It explodes the bat, and the ball has been caught by the pitcher, Woodruff. The bat makes it all the way over to third base. That's the second time in 2 innings Tiger batters have had their bats blown up. And that absolutely exploded. The bat went further than the ball. And that is going to go down as a soft line out to the pitcher for out number 2, and that's going to bring up the right fielder, Robbie Grossman. The barrel of the bat ended up in the 6 hole between the shortstop and the third baseman. So 2 up and 2 away, and that brings the Tiger right fielder Grossman to the plate. The first pitch to Grossman is a changeup swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Grossman today is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. He's batting .240 on the season with 23 homers and 65 RBIs. We mentioned earlier in the game that he's 3 stolen bases away from joining the 2020 club. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. Grossman has been a very productive player for the Tigers this year. For what they are paying him, and we talked about it as earlier in the ballgame, he's in the first year of a 2-year, $10 million contract. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-2. Robbie Grossman has been able to find his way on base. He's walked a lot. He's got a career high in walks this season. He's got 87 base on balls. So here comes the 1-2 pitch from Woodruff. He rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's fouled straight back to the Miller light sign behind home plate, and the count remains at 1-2. Thank you for joining us today for some afternoon baseball. The Milwaukee Brewers are holding on to a 1-0 lead against the Tigers here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Tigers are looking for their first base runner of the afternoon. Brandon Woodruff rocks into the motion, and here comes the 1-2 to Grossman. It's a fastball at 98 that misses upstairs. Grossman did a good job of holding off on the fastball, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Miguel Cabrera is looming on deck should Grossman find a way on base. Woodruff rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and that runs the count full to Grossman at 3-2. It's the 50th pitch of the ball game now for Woodruff. Woodruff gets the sign from his catcher, Pina, and he's ready to go back to work. He rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. There is a breaking ball that misses down, and Grossman has drawn himself a 2-out walk. He's the first base runner of the day for the Tigers. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Miguel Cabrera. We talked about the theme of the day that Matt Manning has been hit twice by comebackers today. Well, Brandon Woodruff was hit by Miguel Cabrera And Cabrera's first at bat turned into a 1-6-3 putout. Cabrera is 0 for 1 today. So Woodruff working from the first time from the stretch position. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away over the first base side. The count is 0-1. Cabrera had a very slow start to the season. He's been able to pull his season batting average up to 261 to start the day. He's got 15 homers and 69 runs batted in. Woodruff holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball at 96, swung on and missed, and the count now 0-2. Now, one thing that I will say is watching Miguel Cabrera at this stage of his life, unfortunately, or baseball life, he's really lost a lot of bat speed. He's not able to catch up to some of the pitches that he used to be able to do. So here comes the 0-2 to Cabrera. And there's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. This ball is going to get down. Grossman digging for third. He's going to round third. He's heading home. Here's the throw to the plate, and it's not going to be in time. Robbie Grossman, who was running on the pitch, is able to go for score all the way from first base on the base hit by Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera gets himself an RBI, and the Tigers are on the board, and we're all knotted up at 1 here in the 4th inning. Cabrera, on an 0-2 pitch, was able to dig it out. Grossman running on the play, able to go all the way, score all the way from first. The throw was not in time. It was a decent throw by the center fielder, Lorenzo Cain, and so that now brings Miguel Cabrera 24 hits away to the 3,000 hit mark. But Miguel Cabrera does stand alone as the hitter with the most interleague hits in the history of the game. And so here we go back to the action. The first pitch to Jmar Candelario is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. So the Tigers have knotted it up here in the 4th inning, and they've done their damage all with 2 out. Very similar to the Brewers doing all their damage off of Matt Manning back in the 2nd. Everything all came with 2 out. And so Candelario asks for time, and he steps out. He felt Woodruff was taking a little longer than he should have. So Candelario gets ready to get back into the plate and dug in. And so here is the 0-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on, and that is fouled away, and the count is 0-2 to Candelario. Candelario on the season is hitting .277 with runners in scoring position. On the year, he's hitting .274, so not much difference when there's runners on in scoring position or when there's no situation. Sometimes guys really bear down and can pull up their batting averages. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball that's down in the dirt, and the count is now 1-2. Candelario had some wrist surgery a couple of years ago. Anytime that a player suffers a broken hamate bone, it's a little bone in the wrist that's like a hook. And sometimes the guys never come back with the power that they were projected to have. He's got 14 homers on the season. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Candelario waiting on the offering from Woodruff. Here's the 2-2 pitch. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-2. Should Candelario get on, it's Harold Castro who's looming in the on-deck circle. So Woodruff ready to go back to work. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Candelario. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's fouled away over on the first base side, just past the tarp roll. And the count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Candelario gets himself dug back in again. We're ready to go back to work. Woodruff is holding set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and this is fouled away over on the third base side. So this is turning to turn into quite the battle. Woodruff, in his first 2 innings of work, threw 17 pitches. And since then, he's thrown 44, including 25 in this inning. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the Candelario at bat. He's really working the right-hander. He holds set at the belt. He checks Cabrera at second base. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over by the first base side of home plate, and the count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Tigers have been able to do their damage here, all with 2 out. The Robbie Grossman walk, the Miguel Cabrera RBI single. Here comes the pitch to Candelario. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Candelario for the 3rd out of the inning. So for the Tigers in their half of the 3rd, they had 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 4 complete in Detroit. It is the Milwaukee Brewers 1, the Detroit Tigers 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call of the top of the 5th inning. We're glad you could be here today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Thanks again to Matt Hollis. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. We'll be back after these tunes with the call at the top of the 5th inning. We're glad you're with us, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We are ready to resume action in the top of the 5th. Matt Manning is ready to go back to work, and the first pitch is a fastball delivered to Manny Pina for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. It's going to be Pina, Wong, and Escobar here in the top of the 5th for the Brewers. Pina today is 0-for-0. He walked his first time up, and it's ready to go back to work, and he's asked for time as Manning was ready to deliver quickly. So no balls and 1 strike. Manning rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses off the outside corner. And the count is now 1-1. Pina on the season is hitting 195. He's got the 10 homers and 30 RBIs. Manning rocks into the motion. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Pina checked his swing, but the ball floated into the strike zone. It was a called strike by the home plate umpire. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Manning ready to go back to work. He rocks into the motion and kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that Pina waves at. Ball's in the dirt. Garneau smothers it, and he tags Pina at the plate, and that is going to retire him on strikes for the first out of the 5th inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the top of the order, Kolten Wong. For Kolten Wong today, he is 0 for 2. He popped to second his first time up, and he grounded to second his second time. He is the table setter at the top of the order today for the Brewers, but he hasn't been able to set the table yet. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-1. Matt Manning was at 66 pitches through his first 4 innings of work. One would think that his day is going to be close to being completed here. And there's a fastball taken on the inside corner, and the count is 0-2. The Tigers have been load managing their young pitchers, specifically Manning and Mize, over the last little bit of the season. You've turned Tariq Skubal loose. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count is going to remain at 0-2 to Wong. Just as the Tiger right-hander will be on load management, the right-hander Brandon Woodruff, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2. Woodruff's pitch count is starting to creep up here. He's at 63 pitches in his 4 innings of work. So here comes the 0-2 pitch to Kolten Wong. Manning rocks into the motion. He delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's lined to the diving first baseman, Jonathan Scope. He has to dive to his left. Makes a great play as that ball was destined for the right field corner. And that is going to be the second out of the inning. Kolten Wong absolutely scorched that ball. Good reaction. Outstretched arms by Scope as he dives to the first baseline to make the grab. And Wong is retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Eduardo Escobar. For Escobar, he is 0 for 2. He struck out his first time up, and he grounded to second his last time up. Here's the pitch from Manning. It is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike to Escobar. This is where Manning has had his challenges. As he's retired the first couple of batters he faced in the second and the third inning, and then he can't seem to put the Brewers away easy after that. There's a fastball at 97, swung on and missed. And that is going to do it. Somewhere along the line, we missed a strike, but the umpires didn't. The scoreboard did, but down on strikes is Eduardo Escobar, and he has been retired for the third out of the inning. So for the Brewers, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th. Not sure where we missed that strike. It is. The Tigers won and the Brewers won. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Maybe we're playing with 2 strikes on the ball game. Hartford Whalers come in, and he says, the Brewers suck. Welcome, Hartford. Thanks for stopping in. Glad you could be with us here today. Stick around. We'll be back with the call of the bottom of the 5th inning in just a moment.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, We have everything here. I drop a different video every day, and there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve. We'll be back in just a moment with the call at the bottom of the fifth inning. Hold tight, everybody. Glad you're with us. Welcome back, everybody. Brandon Woodruff is back on the hill for his fifth inning of work, and the first pitch delivered to Harold Castro was a breaking ball for a called strike, and the second pitch was a breaking ball that he swung at and looped into shallow left field, and it is dropped in front of Christian Yelich for a base hit single, and the Tigers have their leadoff hitter aboard here in the fifth inning. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Willie Castro. So we've got Steve Rademacher, who is a Brewers fan, jumps in and is cheering for the Brewers. Our Hartford Whaler came in and dropped a Brewers suck in the chat. Of course, we've got teams that don't exist anymore throwing bombs at teams that are in first place. That's unbelievable. So here we go. We've got the runner on first, and Willie Castro steps up to the plate. He squares the bunt. He drops a bunt down pushes it past the pitcher. It's fielded by Colton Wong. He flips it behind his back. It gets away from Vogelbach. And that's going to allow Harold Castro to get all the way over to third base. So Willie Castro has reached first on the bunt. He's probably going to get himself a base hit. Castro, the other one, Harold, advances to second, but when Colton Wong decides to do a behind, actually was through his legs, flipped to the first baseman, Vogelbach. It got past Vogelbach, and Castro advances all the way over to third. Some shoddy defense from a Gold Glover. That's going to be an error charged to Colton Wong. That's going to allow Harold Castro to get over to third, and the Tigers have got something brewing here in their fifth inning. We sometimes talk about bonehead baseball plays. That would be one of them right there from an experienced veteran Gold Glover. So runners in the corners, and Dustin Garneau steps to the plate. And the first pitch to him is a breaking ball down in the dirt. They appeal over to the first base umpire, and the first base umpire says he went. And so the count is 0-1. He checked his swing, but not enough in the minds of the first base umpire, Brian Knight. So no balls and one strike to Garneau. Garneau today is 0 for 1. He flew out to left field his first time up. So the runner at third is Harold Castro. The runner at first is Willie Castro. And here comes the 0-1 to Garneau. That pitch is swung on. It's lifted into left field. Camping out underneath it is Yelich. He makes the catch. Tagging at third is Harold Castro. He heads into the plate. He slides head first. He is going to be safe as the throw is not in time. So a sacrifice fly by the catcher, Garneau. He picks himself up an RBI. And Harold Castro comes across to score. Willie Castro is going to hold at first base. And the Tigers are now up 2-1. That's going to bring up the center fielder, Derek Hill. You know, if I'm the Tigers, I would go right back to the bunting again because Derek Hill is pretty adept at that. One of the better bunters in the Tiger lineup. I'm not sure if that's what the Tigers will have in mind here. Back to the short game and get things going again. So the runner at first is Willie Castro, and here comes the pitch to Hill. It's a fastball that misses down in the way, and the count is 1-0. Hill today is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. He's batting .258 on the season with 3 homers and 13 RBIs. And one of those RBIs came in the 11th inning last night when he walked the game off for the Tigers against the Brew Crew. Woodruff fires over to first, and Willie Castro dives back into first base in time. And the count is still 1-0 to Derek Hill. So Woodruff gets the sign from his catcher, Pina. He gets ready to go back to work. He's set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball down in the dirt. And the count now is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. We appreciate everybody for taking the time to come in and to view our stream today. We are doing the stream both on YouTube and on Twitch. So here comes the 2-0 pitch to Hill. Woodruff checks the sign from his catcher. He looks the runner back at first. He's set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul on the first base side. And the count is now 2-1 to Derek Hill. So 2 balls and 1 strike. The Tigers, after having their first 11 batters retired in a row to start the game by Woodruff, have chipped away with a run in the 4th and another one here in the 5th inning. Now have the lead 2-1, and there's a changeup that misses down and in, and the count is now 3 balls and 1 strike to Derek Hill. Woodruff, who was cruising in the first 2 innings, really started to lose the command of his pitches in the 3rd inning. He retired the side 1-2-3, but he really had to work hard in that inning. And then he came back out in the 4th inning, and same thing, really had to work hard in that inning of work as well. Here's the pitch to Hill. This ball is a fastball swung on, is driven into the left center field gap. That's going to get down, and it's going to get up against the wall. Digging for third is Castro. He's rounding third. He's heading home. And Derek Hill is digging for third, and he's going to slide in safely with a triple. And he's got himself an RBI, so Derek Hill has extended the Tigers' lead to 3-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That ball was absolutely scorched into the pull gap. And they were playing him to the pull side as well. They had left fielder Yelich was in straight up positioning. The center fielder had shaded into the pull gap, and he absolutely scorched that right into the left center field gap, got through the outfielders all the way to the wall. And with his speed, he was able to go all the way around to third base. And Derek Hill has himself his 3rd triple of the season. We have a conference on the mound with the pitcher Woodruff. The Tigers lead all of Major League Baseball with 34 triples. Of course, the spacious Comerica Park allows that to be able to happen. And for a team that is not considered to run very well, they definitely have a lot of extra base hits on their side. So the infield is in, and Akil Baddoo is now the batter with 1 out here, and the runner at third is Hill. He takes a first pitch changeup down in the zone, and the count is 1-0. Baddoo today is 0 for 2. He has struck out both his times to the plate. The runner at third is Hill. He establishes his lead, and here comes the pitch from Woodruff. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So for those Brewer fans who came in today wanting Here the Brewers come away with a victory. You might be a little bit disappointed the way this game is starting to turn out. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2-1 now to Baddoo. The Brewers are still the class of the National League Central with their 13.5 game lead over the St. Louis Cardinals entering today's play. And here's the pitch from Woodruff to Baddoo. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's a 3-1 Tiger lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Woodruff gets the sign from his catcher, Pina. He goes ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now has run full to Baddoo. This is the 3rd time in 3 at-bats that Baddoo has worked the count full against Woodruff. The first 2 times, Woodruff won the battle by striking out Baddoo. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. Woodruff kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Baddoo for the 3rd time today via strikes. That's the 2nd out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to the first baseman, Jonathan Scope. For Scope today, he is 0 for 2. He's grounded to second, and he has lined it back to the pitcher. He had his bat absolutely blown up on that soft liner his last time. The bat ended up going further than the ball, and here's the first pitch. It's swung on. It's grounded to the right side of the infield. Wong has to go into the 4-hole. He fields it. He spins. He throws to first, and that's going to retire Scope. A great play by Colton Wong to retire the Tiger hitter. So for the Tigers, in their half of the 5th inning, they had 2 runs in the inning. There were 3 hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 5 complete in Detroit. It is the Detroit Tigers 3, the Milwaukee Brewers 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 6th inning in just a couple moments. We're glad you are with us here today.
Hello, friends. Steve coming back at you, a clean-shaven Steve. Thank you for watching Last Reps Baseball. And please continue to support my channel among others, like Another Hollis Build. Awesome commercial. And now I'll show you a few more things that we do have. We have toys, like this bobblehead Star Wars on wheels. We have Noids. We can't keep avoiding them forever. We do have Legos. Love my Legos. We have Origami Folder. Check him out. He's new into this, getting started, has good following already. We have Red Beard Breaks. And we also have these things that, in a pinch, will tell you what your temperature is. So, if you like all of this, and if you like Last Reps Baseball, join all of us. We'd love to have you. And I know you would enjoy us. Thank you, peace, good night, and cheers.
Welcome back, everybody. We are resuming action, and it is Christian Yelich to lead it off here in the top of the 6th inning, and he takes a first pitch fastball upstairs for ball 1. 1-0 from the right-hander Manning, who is back on for his start, his 6th inning of work. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 1-1. For Yelich today, he is 0 for 2. He's grounded a ball back at the pitcher, and it was a 1-6-3 putout, and he has flown out today. He is 0 for 2. There is a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2-1. Yelich, Narvaez, and Arias here for the Brewers in their half of the 6th inning to get things going. Here comes the 2-1 to Yelich. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded to the right side. It's fielded by Willie Castro, who is in the rover position in shallow right field. He makes the play and throws to first, and that's going to retire Yelich on a ground out, 4-3 for out number 1. And that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Omar Narvaez. Narvaez is 0 for 2 today. He popped out to the shortstop his first time up, and he struck out, but reached first base on a wild pitch his last time up. Manning is up to 82 pitches now on the ball game, and here's the pitch to Narvaez. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away on the first base side, and the count is 0-1. Narvaez is the designated hitter today. His season average is at 284. He's having himself a fine campaign, and here comes the pitch from Manning. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-1. It's the first time in his career that he has been an all-star. Narvaez waits on the delivery from Manning as he rocks into the motion and kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. There's only one other game going on today in Major League Baseball. And there's a fastball that misses upstairs to Narvaez, and the count is now 3-1. And the Washington Nationals have grabbed a 1-0 lead against the Miami Marlins. That game is in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Nationals are threatening to add more as they've got runners on second and third with only 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Comes the pitch, and it is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And that ball is going to reach the seats down the third base sign. The count is now full to Narvaez. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays are about to get underway. That start is in about 15 minutes' time. Michael Wacha takes to the hill against Robbie Ray. The Blue Jays lost last night to Tampa and has put their wild card hopes, or has set their wild card hopes back a bit as they have now dropped out of the playoff position. And there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to the shortstop, who's to the right of second base. It's fielded by Harold Castro. He's going to make the throw over to first. That's going to go down as a ground out 6-3, and that's going to retire Narvaez here in the Milwaukee 6th, and that's going to leave it all up to the shortstop, Luis Arias. Arias today is 0 for 2. He's grounded to second, and he's flown out to center field. It's the sign from his catcher. He's ready to go to work. And there's a breaking ball that misses down, and it's all the way to the backstop. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes. So 1-0 to Arias. Manning ready to go back to work. He rocks in the motion. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. Manning is up to 90 pitches here today. We didn't expect Manning to be extended this long. They have been load managing some of the Tiger pitchers. Of course, Manning and Mize are the 2 specifically, and here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses low, and the count is now 3-0. Jace Peterson is waiting his turn on deck. So 3 balls and no strikes. Here comes the pitch from Manning. It's a fastball that's misses low and away. It gets away from Garneau and gets all the way to the backstop, and that's going to be ball 4. So Arias is aboard with a 2-out walk. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Jace Peterson. There is action now in the Tiger bullpen. Alex Lang is starting to get loose for Detroit. And the pitching coach, Chris Fetters, is on his way to the mound. We're going to have a conference on the hill. And so stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment after this conference is over with. Hold tight. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. The conference on the mound is over. The Tigers are ready to go back to work. They've got the shift on against Jace Peterson as they've got three fielders to the right side of second base. The third baseman, Candelario, has moved into the shortstop side or into the six hole over on the left side of the infield. One would think that this is going to be the last batter of the ball game, regardless, for Manning. And he pitches. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Lang is heating in the bullpen, and Peterson is digging in at the plate. Peterson today is 1 for 2. He singled in the second. He scored the only run for the Brewers. He's also stolen a base today. There's the pitch from Manning. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Manning ready to go back to work. It's the sign from his catcher, Garneau. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2 to Peterson. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Manning gets the sign from his catcher, Garneau. He comes set at the belt. He kicks in, he delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here's the pitch from Manning. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the third base side, and the count remains at 2-2. That was way too good a pitch, and I think Peterson would probably want that one back. Manning was upset at himself. He missed that spot. He got too much of the plate with the last pitch there. He was fortunate that Peterson didn't get it straightened out, because that would have been trouble. And so here comes the 2-2. It's a breaking ball swung on, and it is popped up and caught by Garneau, and that is going to end the inning. Oh, boy, you'd have to see that one. It was foul tipped off him. It popped up into the air, and then he dove to his left to make the catch. That was really, really strange. It hit off his glove. It went up into the air, it looked like off the mask, and then he dove to his left to catch the ball, and that is going to retire Peterson on strikes for the third out of the inning. So for the Brewers, in their half of the 6th inning, they had no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. We're through 5.5 in Detroit. It is the Tigers 3, the Brewers 1. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call at the bottom of the 6th inning. Stick around, everybody. We're glad you are with us. Thanks again. We'll be right back.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Thanks again, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment for the call at the bottom of the 6th inning. And as Steve Rademacher pointed out, it is 3-1 Tigers over the Brewers. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the 6th inning after this. Another one of our Did You Knows. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the 6th inning, and it's going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the batting order for the Detroit Tigers. And Robbie Grossman steps up to the plate, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Grossman today is 0 for 1. He struck out a walked and scored a run back in the 4th inning. And here comes the 0-1 from Woodruff. It's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Woodruff was cruising through his first couple innings of work, and then it's been a battle for him since then. We thought that he would probably be going deep into this ballgame. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right center field. Moving over on it is the right fielder, Lorenzo Cain. He's going to make the catch and put it away. And that is 1 up and 1 away here for the Tigers in their half of the 6th inning. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Miguel Cabrera. For Cabrera today, he is 1 for 2. He drove in the Tiger first run. With that hit today, that gives him 2,976. He is now 24 away from the 3,000 mark. I would be surprised. He'd have to go on an absolute tear here in the month of September to get it the rest of the way. There's a breaking ball that Cabrera checks his swing on, but he can't hold up, and that count is now 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Woodruff gets the sign from his catcher, Pina. He's ready to go back to work, and there is a changeup that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. Cabrera has played very well over the last couple of months of the season, but he's not in a position where one would think he's going to be able to get enough hits to be able to reach the 3,000 mark. There's a fastball swung on, is lifted to deep right field. Moving over underneath it is the right fielder, Peterson. He's going to make the catch, and that's going to retire Cabrera for the 2nd out of the inning. Just a couple other thoughts about Cabrera. Over the last month of the season, he's got his average up. He's been hitting 308 over the last 28 days. With 3 homers and 18 RBIs. He's shown flashes of his old self. Got off to such a tragic start in April and March and April with a 140 average, and then batted 204 in the month of May. There's a breaking ball down to Jamar Candelario. It's taken for a ball, and the count is 1-0. But really, since June, he's been on fire for the most part. Here comes the pitch from Woodruff. There is a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is now 2-0. Cabrera is certainly one of the best in the business for the last decade for sure. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Candelario, and it's a fastball that's going to catch the top part of the strike zone for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. Should Candelario find a way on base, it'll be Harold Castro who waits his turn. Here's the pitch from Woodruff. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded to first. It's fielded by Vogelbach. He flips it over to the pitcher covering, and that is going to retire Candelario and the Tigers here in their half of the 6th inning. So for Detroit, they go quietly in the 6th. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call at the top of the 7th inning. It is the Detroit Tigers 3, the Milwaukee Brewers 1. Stay with us, everybody. We're glad you're with us today for the call of the ball game. Here are some of our Japanese baseball memories. For those of you who are new to our channel or are listening in for the first time, we had an opportunity to go to the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. We're going to share those memories with you right now. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 7th inning. It's going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming up for the Brewers, and Joby One Kenobi is in the house. I don't know if Steve's having as good a day as he could be as the Brewers are trailing Detroit Tigers 3-1 today. And there is going to be a pitching change for the Tigers as Alex Lang is making his way to the mound. He is completing his tune-up tosses, so he's going to face Vogelbach, Kane, and Pina here in the top of the 7th. So Alex Lang, Matt Manning's day is done, and Alex Lang is in to replace him. Lang made his inning his rookie season. He's pitched in 28 innings this year in 28 games. He's got an ERA of 4.82. He's really settled down as of late. He struggled at the beginning of the season. He got sent down to sort some things out. He originally was a first-round selection of the Chicago Cubs back in the 2017 draft, and he was a part of the trade that came to Detroit as Nick Castellanos was sent to the Cubs. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-1 to Vogelbach. Vogelbach today is officially 0 for 1. He struck out in the 4th and walked and was stranded on 3rd in the 2nd inning. Here comes the pitch from Lang. It's a breaking ball that bounces about 8 feet in front of the plate and had the hitter, the umpire, and the catcher all ducking out of the way, not knowing where that thing was going to go. There's action in the Milwaukee bullpen as well. We're really getting into that time of the ball game where we are going to be seeing some relief pitchers. So here's the pitch to Vogelbach. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Joby One Kenobi says, I hope you're having a great day, Last Wraps. We're glad you're here. He says the Reds can't seem to beat anybody. There's a breaking ball down in the dirt, and Vogelbach checks his swing, but he can't hold it up in time, and he is going to be retired on strikes for the first out of the inning here. The Cincinnati Reds are certainly playing themselves out of a playoff picture. We were talking about the playoff race a little bit earlier. The wild card race is really what is got everybody's attentions right now. And certainly both the National League and the American League wildcard race is highly entertaining. And there's a breaking ball delivered to Lorenzo Cain. He swings and misses. And Cain today is 1 for 2. He doubled home a run in the 2nd inning, and he grounded out to 2nd in the 4th inning. Here comes the pitch from Lang. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The St. Louis Cardinals are currently holding down the National League wildcard spot, and the second one as the Dodgers clinched a playoff spot last night. There's a fastball that misses inside. They are the second National League team to do so. The West leading San Francisco Giants did it the night before. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch from Lang to Kane is a breaking ball down in the dirt, and he waves at it and misses, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The St. Louis Cardinals, nobody really seems to want to take control of that National League wildcard spot. There's been a number of changes over the last little bit. The Philadelphia Phillies are 3 games behind that last spot, and they are at a 500 clip of 72-72. And of all things, the New York Mets are still alive at 72-74, and they're only 4 games back. So anything can happen in these last 2.5 weeks. There's a breaking ball down in the dirt. Kane checks his swing. The first base umpire said he went, and that is going to retire Kane for the second out of the inning, both by of strikeout. That's going to leave it up to the catcher, Manny Pina. For Pina today, he is officially 0 for 1. He struck out his last time up, and he walked in the second inning. So as we said, the Cardinals, Cincinnati, a half game back of the Cardinals right now in this playoff race. The Cardinals have a game in hand. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses inside the Pina, and the count is 1-0. The Padres sit a game back of the Cardinals. And then, of course, you got Philly and the Mets. So somebody gets hot here to close out the season. It could be anybody's for the taking. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 1-1. And Joby One Kenobi says the Blue Jays are getting hot at the right time. They've been coming on strong. Certainly the sweep of the Yankees, they stumbled a little bit against the Orioles. I think it was in their first game. They went off. They went absolutely crazy. And there's a breaking ball swung on and missed by Pina. The count is now 1-2. I think there were fights at the bat rack in the Blue Jay dugout as they were fighting to get to the plate, racing to get to the plate in that 22-run onslaught against the Orioles. I think even the pitchers wanted to hit in that game. Blue Jays offense has been absolutely electric. Although it was cooled off last night as they had lost to Tampa Bay. There's a breaking ball swung on, and that's fouled it off into the shin guard of Pina. The count remains at 1-2. And Joby Wan Kenobi says as the Jays and Rays has started a strikeout for Robbie Ray. There's no surprise there. Robbie Ray has had an absolutely fantastic season. The Blue Jays have reached out to Ray, Simeon, and there's one other player who would be free agents at the end of the year. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted to deep left field. Moving back on the warning track is Akil Baddoo right up against the fence. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it for the Brewers. Pina sent that one a long way, but it is going to be a long out for the third out of the inning. So for the Brewers in their half of the seventh, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody off the board. We are moving to the bottom half of the seventh inning. It is the Detroit Tigers 3, the Milwaukee Brewers 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment with the call of the bottom of the seventh inning. We're glad you're with us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city, San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Again to Matt Hollis, who is a large supporter of our channel, and in return, we like to support him. Be sure to check out another Hollis build after the game. We'll be right back after, everybody.
Would you like to support Last Raps Baseball? We would appreciate it if you did. Be sure to check out our eBay page where we have baseball merchandise. We also have stuff from the Japanese League for those who listen from Japan. But we also do other sports like football and basketball as well. Don't forget, visit Last Raps Baseball's eBay store to help support the channel. We'll be glad you did.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the seventh inning. It's going to be the Castros, Harold and Willie, followed by Dustin Garneau to get things going. And we do have a pitching change for the Milwaukee Brewers. On in relief is going to be Jake Cousins. He is in his 27th appearance. He's worked 26 and 2/3 innings. He's got an ERA of 1.35. He has struck out 39 and walked 15. So the right-hander is on in relief of Brandon Woodruff. And he is set to face the left-handed hitting Harold Castro here to begin the bottom of the seventh inning. And the first pitch is a breaking ball taking for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and one strike to Castro. And there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And the count is now quickly 0-2. So no balls and two strikes. Cousins in relief of Woodruff. In his first year of big league action this year is Cousins. There's a changeup swung on. It's lifted into center field. Moving over to his right is Lorenzo Cain to make the catch, and that is going to retire Castro for the out here in the seventh inning. So he is retired, and that is going to bring up the second baseman, Willie Castro. Cousins was originally a 20th round draft choice out of the University of Pennsylvania by the Washington Nationals in 2017. Released by the Nationals in March of this year and signed on midseason with the Brew Crew. He's been very effective so far. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Willie Castro. For Willie Castro today, he is 1 for 2. He struck out his first time up, and he went to a sacrifice bunt. It ended up turning into a single his last time up, and the error by Colton Wong put Harold Castro all the way around to third, and that's how the Tigers manufactured or started the manufacturing of their second and third runs. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. W. Vogg's in the house here today. Thanks for stopping in, Will. Joey One Kenobi says that he's going to give us some props. We appreciate you checking in. Listen to our call of the game. There's a breaking ball that misses to Castro, and the count is now 2-1 to Willie. I know in our Japanese league that happens sometimes. We get a lot of foreign listeners or English-speaking listeners. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count's now 2-2. And they like to sync our call of the game with the live video, and so we appreciate those who do that. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cousins gets the sign from his catcher, Pina, and he goes ready to go back to work. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and delivers, and there's a breaking ball swung on. It's tapped into the ground. It's fielded by Cousins. He underhand flips it to first. That's going to retire Castro. That goes as a ground out, 1-3 for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to the catcher, Dustin Garneau. Garneau today is officially 0 for 1. He had a sac fly in the 5th inning, knocking in a run, and he flew out in the 3rd inning. Garneau getting the start behind the plate today. Usually the day after a night game, the Tigers, and like most teams in the big leagues today, will go to their backup catcher. So here comes the pitch from Cousins. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Probably going to be the end of the day for Alex Lang, as the right-hander Michael Fulmer is up and throwing in the Tiger bullpen. Fulmer looking ready to come on in relief. And here comes the pitch to Garneau. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We were talking about the wild card situation earlier in the American League. The picture there is not very clear either. Of course, it's a race for both wild card spots, unlike in the National League, where there's really only one now up for grabs with the Dodgers clinching last night. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. The Yankees and the Blue Jays currently are tied with the Red Sox for that top spot in the wild card race. The Mariners are 3 back, and the Athletics are 3.5 back, and there's a fastball that misses inside. The count's now 2-2 to Garneau. So a 5-horse race for 2 spots. The Blue Jays have played the best baseball over their last 10 games. They're 8-2. The Oakland Athletics are swooning at the wrong time of the year, or at the wrong time of the year. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This is lifted into deep left field. Moving back on the warning track is Christian Yelich, and he's going to watch that one sail into the seats as the catcher, Dustin Garneau, has hit himself his 4th homer of the season. And the Tigers have extended their lead here in the 7th inning to 4-1 over the Milwaukee Brewers. So Garneau absolutely scorched that pitch. It was a 95-mile-an-hour heater on the inside. He really was able to keep his hands inside, turned on the pitch, and Christian Yelich watches it sail into the bullpen area behind the left field fence. The Tigers now have extended the lead to 4-1. It's going to bring up the center fielder, Derek Hill, and Hill takes a first pitch breaking ball down for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Joby1 Kenobi says, wondering if I ever sleep calling all these games. There's a breaking ball that swung on and missed, and the count is 1-1. The problem is that we're not doing the weekday games right now in the Japanese league. We're just doing the weekend stuff. The weekday games, it's just too difficult. Those games are starting at usually 1:45 or 1:30 Pacific time in the middle of the night. We do get an audience. There's a breaking ball that misses to Derek Hill, and the count's now 2-1. It's obviously a significantly different audience than what we get in the North American daytime. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's tapped foul over on the third base side. The count now runs 2-2 to Derek Hill. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., as we scoreboard watch with Joby1 Kenobi, he's absolutely having a great year at the plate. And the scary part about this is his best years, I think, are still to come. So here comes the 2-2. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's fouled away. And the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, and here's the pitch. And that's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 3-2. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball, and Derek Hill goes after the pitch The home plate umpire says he went, and he is retired on strikes. So for the Tigers in their half of the 7th inning, they got 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and nobody left the board. We're moving to the top of the 8th inning. It is the Detroit Tigers 4, the Milwaukee Brewers 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. We're glad you could stick around here today to listen in. Hold tight. We'll be right back.
Are you into digital cards? Last Wraps Baseball has you covered as we do daily Top Spun Digital 21 card breaks. This new wave of collecting allows baseball fans to collect digital cards and compete against each other for prizes. Check out our daily breaks and send us a trade to Last Wraps. Be sure to tell your friends.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to the top of the 8th inning. It's going to be the top of the order for the Milwaukee Brewers. It'll be Colton Wong, Eduardo Escobar, and Christian Yelich. They are going to be facing a relief pitcher for the Tigers as Michael Fulmer is entering the ball game. Fulmer, the former Rookie of the Year, is going to be taking over for the Tigers on the hill here in the one-time All-Star. Back in 2017, there's a 5-6 record to the hill. He's appeared in 61 ball games this year. He's got 8 saves. He's got an ERA of 3.39. There's 62 hits he's allowed in those 61 innings. He's walked 17 and struck out 63. So Colton Wong is going to be the first hitter to face him. It's the top of the order for the Brew Crew. And our friend Joby Wan Kenobi is providing us some of those Blue Jay updates. And they are in the bottom of the first inning, and it is 3-0 for the Jays on only a couple of hits. Michael Wacha is getting roughed up early. Marlins have battled back to tie the game against the Nationals. That game is in the bottom of the 6th inning, but the Nationals are threatening right now. Those are the only games that are underway. Besides this one here, and here we are back to the live action. It's a first pitch fastball delivered to Colton Wong, and it's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Fulmer gets the sign from his catcher Garneau. He gets ready to go back to work, and there's a fastball swung on it. It is lifted into deep right field. Moving back on it and to his right is Robbie Grossman. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Wong for the first out of the 8th inning. So 1 up and 1 away. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Eduardo Escobar. For Eduardo Escobar on the season, he is batting .255 with 27 homers and 81 RBIs. And the first pitch is a fastball that comes under the hands that backs Escobar off the plate, and he drops his bat. The count is 1-0. Since coming to Milwaukee, Escobar has been hitting .283 with 5 homers and 16 RBIs. He's got 120 at-bats. There's a fastball that he waves at and misses. The count is now 1-1. Escobar really doesn't look very comfortable at the plate here against Michael Fulmer. His 2 pitches have come to him. There's a fastball he swings at, and he lifts it foul behind home plate. The count is now 1-2. The first pitch literally took the bat out of his hands. The second pitch he waved at. So here we are back to the live action. Fulmer gets the sign from his catcher Garneau. He rocks into the kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that, again, Escobar waves at, and he is retired on strikes. That was a at-bat. It looked like he wasn't ready to do anything. And he's gone down on strikes for the third time today. That's the second out of the inning. He's going to bring up the left fielder, Christian Yelich. And Joby One Kenobi points out that Alejandro Kirk, he's about as wide as he is tall, the catcher for the Blue Jays. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0 to Yelich. But Alejandro Kirk can swing the bat. He is shown, he made the jump all the way from A-ball right to the big leagues, much similar to Akil Baddoo. There's a fastball that misses down and into Yelich, and the count is now 2-0. There is a left-hander up in the Milwaukee bullpen. It's the former Tiger, Daniel Norris, getting heated in the bullpen. And there is a fastball that misses down and in. The count's 3-0. And Joby One says, apologize if your updates. It's all good. It's good when we have people in here chatting. I've got no problems with that, Joby One. We'll try to keep up with those. Sometimes people are more active than others. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. We anticipate that the Friday night game between the Oakland A's and the Los Angeles Angels we plan to call will be a very busy time. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. To the left-handed stick Yelich. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball. He swings at it, and he fouls it off his shin guard that he's got on his right foot. And is going to keep the count at 3-2. The sun is forcing its way through the clouds in Detroit. We started the game, it was cloudy. And the weather has certainly picked up here. The sun and starting to come through. The clouds are starting to clear in Detroit. The pitch from Fulmer, it's a fastball swung on and missed, and Yelich is retired on strikes as the Brewers go quietly in their half of the 8th inning. They had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is the Detroit Tigers 4, the Milwaukee Brewers 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the 8th inning in just a couple moments. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change, and it'll be the former Tiger, Daniel Norris, coming in. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back.
Are you into digital cards? Last Wraps Baseball has you covered as we do daily Top Spun Digital 21 card breaks. This new wave of collecting allows baseball fans to collect digital cards and compete against each other for prizes. Check out our daily breaks and send us a trade to Last Wraps. Be sure to tell your friends.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day. And there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddy.
Thanks again, Steve, and welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the 8th inning, and there is going to be a pitching change for the Milwaukee Brewers as former Tiger Daniel Norris is making his way to the hill. Norris on the season is 2 wins and 3 losses. He's got a 6.18 ERA in 51 ball games. He's allowed 48 hits. He's walked 28 and struck out 54. His numbers were not that great with Detroit, and now that he is with Milwaukee, the ERA has been fluffed up even more since joining the Brewers. He's 1-0 with a 6.91 ERA. And so he's going to get opportunity to come on here in relief, and he's going to face a pinch hitter in Victor Reyes. And Reyes squares the bunt, but he takes a fastball down for ball one. Reyes is in to hit here for Akil Baddoo. It'll be Reyes, Scope, and Grossman here in the Tiger half of the eighth inning. Victor Reyes is batting a .241 on the season, and he takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. Baddoo today was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. So Reyes is getting a chance to come up and swing the bat here after Baddoo had been very unproductive. There's a breaking ball that is down. They appeal to the first base umpire, and they say that Reyes didn't go. Reyes has gotten hotter lately as he has been able to bring his season average up. He started very slow, and there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded through the 6 hole. That is going to get into a left field for a base hit, and Reyes is aboard with a leadoff single here in the 8th inning, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Jonathan Scope. I'm not sure who would be more frustrated. Busy Black in the house. Thanks for stopping in. We appreciate you being here. So Scope steps up to the plate, ready to go. The runner on first is Reyes. And Scope is waiting. Here's the pitch from Norris. It's a fastball missing upstairs, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. I'm not sure who would be more frustrating watching this. Tigers had to witness Daniel Norris over the last 6 seasons with the club, or the Milwaukee Brewers, who are seeing what the Tigers had to witness their last few years. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball, and that's swung on and fouled away, and it's going to reach the seats, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Norris working and ready to go. Here comes the pitch, and it is a changeup down, and the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. So Reyes is the runner at first. There's nobody out here in the 8th inning. Joby One Kenobi says, the last time I stopped in, this Tiger club's a few pieces away from being a contender. Probably more on the offensive side than on the pitching side. The pitching side is going to come together in the next couple of years. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Norris gets the sign from his catcher, Pina, and he gets ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul over on the first base side. And the count remains 2-2 to Jonathan Scope. And the offensive side of things, the Tigers probably overperformed a little bit this year. They've got an aged Miguel Cabrera. They really lack at the shortstop position. There is help on the way offensively with Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson leading the way. And also the shortstop Kreidler, who was in AAA, the former 4th-round pick out of UCLA, looks like he may be a diamond in the rough. And there's a foul ball that's swung on, or a curveball that's swung on that's fouled away over on the first base side. And the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Jonathan Scope, as Scope is at bat here with nobody out in the 8th inning. The runner at first is Victor Reyes, and here comes the pitch from Norris. It's a fastball swung on. It is jammed, and it's going to fall just foul down the right field line. That ball was trouble. If that ball would have dropped in, Reyes was on his way to third. In fact, he might have had a chance to score all the way from first because the right fielder For the Milwaukee Brewers, Jace Peterson was playing more in toward the gap. And very, very deep to Jonathan Scope. So that's going to keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joby One Kenobi says the White Sox seem to have a commitment to winning. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded to the shortstop. It's a great play by Urias. He flips it backhanded over to second. They retire Reyes, but Reyes is injured himself sliding into the bag at second base. He is down and he's hobbled and he's making his way off the base paths. It was a very awkward slide by Reyes into second base. A beautiful play by the shortstop Urias. That's a fielder's choice. It's going to be a fielder's choice 6-4 for the first out of the inning. As he's on his stomach, he backhands it to the second baseman Wong covering. Wong does a nice job of receiving it, but a very awkward slide going into the bag by Victor Reyes. And here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball down, and the count is 1-0. Joby One Kenobi says that he hopes that Brock Deathridge would pan out. He loves the name. Yeah, I don't think that Deathridge is playing himself onto anybody's radar right now. He's been a disappointment. Here comes the pitch, and it's a fastball, and that's going to miss upstairs. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Grossman today is officially 0 for 2. He struck out and flew out to center. He's walked and scored a run. Norris gets ready to go back to work with the runner Scope at first. He kicks and delivers. There is a breaking ball swung on. It is driven into left field for a base hit. Scope is going to cruise into second. Grossman is aboard with a single. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Miguel Cabrera. And that's going to bring Craig Counsell out of the dugout, and he's calling for the right-hander. And that is going to do it for the lefty Daniel Norris. So stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments for the call after this pitching change. The Tigers have runners at first and second, and there's 1 out. And the Brewers are going to the bullpen as Daniel Norris makes the slow walk back to the dugout. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We're glad you're with us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Thanks again to Matt Hollis for being a supporter of our channel, and in return, we like to support him. Be sure after the game, go check out Another Hollis Build when you get an opportunity. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back after these tunes. We have a pitching change in Detroit. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 on and 1 away. Welcome back, everybody. It is a right-hander coming in. It is going to be Yandel Gustave coming into the ball game. The Dominican right-hander is been in the big leagues since 2016, or parts of the time since 2016. He began his big league career with the Houston Astros. Then he went to the San Francisco Giants, and now he is with the Brewers. And the first pitch is a fastball delivered to Miguel Cabrera that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. On the season, he is 1-0 with a 0.96 ERA. He's appeared in 8 games. He's worked 9 1/3 innings. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It's grounded to third. Escobar fields it over to second for 1, back to first. And that is a double play, so that's going to retire the Tigers here in their half of the 8th inning. And so Cabrera grounds into the double play, 5-4-3 if you're keeping score. So for the Tigers in their half of the 8th inning, they had no runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We are moving to the top of the 9th inning. It is the Detroit Tigers 4, the Milwaukee Brewers 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the call of the top of the 9th inning. We're glad you could join us for our call today. We'll bring it home right after this.
Good evening, sports fans. I hope you all have been enjoying the game. This is just another message from another Hollis Build. I hope that your team is in the lead, but if not, remember, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But you know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life, and as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on my team, but I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game, and if it remains the same, remember, that's life. You want your fill? Go check another Hollis Build on YouTube. Last Raps Baseball. Let's get back to the game. Let's go! You know that's life. You know it. One love and peace.
Welcome back, everybody. That is our friend Matt Hollis. Be sure to check out his channel after the ball game. And we are back to the live action as Michael Fulmer is on for his second inning work. And the first pitch delivered to Omar Narvaez is a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is 0-1. Narvaez, Arias, and Peterson are slated to come to bat to face the right-handed pitching Fulmer here in the top half of the 9th inning for the Brewers. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Narvaez today is 0-for-3. He did reach first on a wild pitch after a strikeout back in the 3rd inning, and there's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Narvaez looking to get things going for the Brew Crew in their half of the 9th inning. Fulmer is in his 2nd inning of work. He rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Narvaez is erased on strikes for the first out of the inning. That's the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Michael Fulmer. And he's struck out now 3 in a row. So 1 up and 1 away here in the 9th inning. And that brings up the shortstop, Luis Arias. So Arias is striding to the plate. Here comes the first pitch from Fulmer. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. There is a Fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 1. So if Joby won, Kenobi's still in the house. Brock Deathridge, just for your knowledge, he retired back in March. He hung up his cleats. He voluntarily retired from baseball. He packed it in. So if you've got some autographed cards, you might want to find some of the friends and family. And there is a fastball swung on. It's lifted into shallow center field. It's going to drop in front of Derek Hill for a base hit. And Arias is aboard with a 1-out single here in the 9th inning, and that's going to bring up the right fielder, Jace Peterson. I'm sure that we don't necessarily hear about it, but I'm sure we will hear over time about certain players that will have packed it in because of the situation last year and this year with regards to COVID. Guys just, decide to hang it up and go in a different direction if they don't feel that their career is going to continue on in baseball. And there's a first pitch fastball delivered to Jace Peterson, taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Peterson today is 1 for 3, singled and scored the only run of the game for the Brewers back in the 2nd inning. He's also grounded out and struck out. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2. The breaking ball that Fulmer has displayed today that has given him 3 punch-outs have been pitches that have been waved on the inside corner of the plate. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So as we mentioned to before, if you're looking for Brock Deathridge fans, maybe you want to reach out to all the friends and family, and you can move your stuff off to him there. So here we go. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball, and it's misses upstairs, and the count is 1-2. Yeah, I didn't remember seeing anything about Deathridge this year in the minors. He wasn't really talked about, and he was a college player that the Tigers had. And there's a breaking ball that misses down. The appeal to the third base umpire says he didn't go, and the count's now 2-2 to Jace Peterson. But certainly Brock Deathridge is one of the greater names in all of baseball lore of recent years. So here comes the 2-2 from Fulmer. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now runs to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Waiting his turn on deck is the first baseman, Daniel Vogelbach. And here's the 3-2. It's a fastball swung on. It's ripped foul down the right field line. It reached the seats. That ball was absolutely scorched. The count remains 3-2 to Peterson. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fulmer comes set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 3-2. They certainly want to go after Peterson here. The tying run in Daniel Vogelbach is on deck, and certainly Vogelbach has the ability, if the Peterson could find a way on base with one swing of the bat, he could tie this game up in a hurry, and certainly the Tigers wouldn't want that. But the Brewers would certainly be looking for that situation to occur. And there's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled away, and the count remains at 3-2. Obi-Wan Kenobi says at this point he'd like to move all of his cardboard. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's a pitch, and it's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Fulmer has retired Peterson for the 2nd out of the inning. That's the 4th strikeout for Michael Fulmer today. It's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, Daniel Vogelbach, to keep things going here or alive for the Brewers in their 9th inning. For Vogelbach today, he is 0 for 2 and a walk. He's struck out in those 2 plate appearances that he's had. So Tigers are 1 out away, and the pitching coach is making his way to the mound. Fetters is coming out to talk to Michael Fulmer. Just probably out to remind him about the left-handed stick Vogelbach. There is a ready to go. So Funkhauser getting loose in the pen, but there's 2 outs here in the 9th inning, and Daniel Vogelbach strides to the plate. Gets himself dug in. He's got a open stance, and here's the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. When I see Vogelbach at the plate, he reminds me of Bob Hamlin. Hamlin, who was a one-time Kansas City Royal. There is a fastball that Vogelbach checks his swing on, and he can't hold up, and the count is 0-2. Joey One Kenobi says that Marcus Semien almost has 40 home runs, but we don't seem to hear much about him. Semien is probably going to lock himself in the 3rd spot in the MVP race, I would think. There's a fastball that misses into Vogelbach, and the count is now 1-2. Tiger fans are on their feet. Detroit looking to bring this one home for the Tigers. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Vogelbach. There's the runner on first is Urias, and here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses inside. The count is now 2-2 to Vogelbach. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fulmer gets the sign from his catcher Garneau, and he's ready to go back to work. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. Moving back on the warning track is Victor Reyes, and he's going to make the catch in front of the scoreboard. And that is going to retire Vogelbach for the 3rd out of the inning. He gave the ball a charge. But for the Brewers in their half of the 9th inning, they had no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. The ball game is now over in Detroit. It is the Milwaukee Brewers losing to the Detroit Tigers 4-1. We're glad you were with us, everybody, here today. We appreciate it. We will be back on the air again tomorrow morning. We're going to be doing the Atlanta Braves and the Colorado Rockies. So hopefully you can come on in and check that out. We'll be on the air at 9:20 Pacific time or 12:20 on the East Coast. So hopefully you can join us for the call of that one. Again, your final score, it is the Detroit Tigers 4, the Milwaukee Brewers 1. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap this all up. Thanks for being here with us, everybody.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Once again, everybody, we appreciate everybody stopping in today to listen to our call of the Tigers and the Brewers. Once again, your final score from Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Detroit Tigers 4, the Milwaukee Brewers 1. Reminder, tomorrow we'll be back on the air again for the Colorado Rockies and the Atlanta Braves. We'll also return on Friday to do the Oakland Athletics and the Los Angeles Angels, and then we're off to the Japanese League for the weekend. We'll get those games all up and scheduled. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. It's another Last Wraps Baseball video production. Have a great day. We'll catch you all again later.